There's a new poll out from Suffolk University, and it's pretty much the most depressing and embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my life. So it turns out the favorability of the Democratic Party is actually worse than the favorability of Donald Trump and Mike Pence. So let me give you the specific numbers so you can see just how gross this is. Mike Pence has a 47% favorability rating. Donald Trump has a 45% favorability rating. And the Democratic Party has a 36% favorability rating. So Trump is up 9 percentage points on the Democratic Party, and Pence is up 11 points on the Democratic Party. Oh yeah, there's one more fact here I want to give you. Hillary Clinton's favorability is 35%. So a full 10 points behind Donald Trump and 12 points behind Mike Pence. Now, with me bringing this up, there's going to be a lot of people who immediately say, well, there Kyle goes again, bashing Hillary Clinton. It looks like he gets some sort of glee out of trashing her. And why would you hit her when she's down? This isn't right, and all this other stuff. Well, the reality is I'm talking about this because, again, I want the Democratic Party to learn their lesson. I want them to get better. The only way to get better is if you acknowledge the problem and then do something to fix it and do something to change it. And unfortunately, all we've seen is doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on all the things that lost us the election. Remember, it's not just Donald Trump who's president in terms of, us losing. It's also the Republicans hold the Senate, they hold the House of Representatives, they hold the majority of governorships, and they hold the majority of state legislatures. So the Democrats are just wiped out across the board. Now, you would think a rational thing to do when faced with those facts is say, okay, let's reevaluate, just like the Republicans did their autopsy report, and let's do that and figure out what's wrong and then readjust. Well, no, the DNC, for example, hired people who were on Hillary Clinton's campaign to head their anti-Trump war room. Why would you do that? They've proven they're the one group of people in the country that don't know how to beat Donald Trump. They didn't beat him. So why would you do that? Furthermore, we have Tom Perez, who's the establishment pick, who's now the head of the DNC. They had an opportunity to not pick somebody who's nearly as establishment as Tom Perez. They could have went with Keith Ellison, and they didn't. They went with Tom Perez. This is a guy who's pro-TPP. So the reason why we have to keep talking about it is because they're being stubborn and they're driving the party off a cliff. You have an opportunity here to rebuild from scratch, attack Trump on the right things, push the proper vision for the Democratic Party in the country, but instead you're not doing that. You're going with the old guard, they're clinging to power, and the arguments they're using are preposterous and stupid. Again, they're sticking with cliches and platitudes and taking corporate money and screaming about Russia. So that was the core of the problem, too. I mean, it's the corporate money and the big donor money that led to us having a candidate like Hillary Clinton. Well, the DNC, again, had an opportunity. Let's go in the other direction now. They didn't. They voted to keep taking corporate money. So right there, you already lost the battle and the war. That's it. He's, let's restart and we're going to beat Trump and that's what's going to happen. No. And look at the result. Now Mike Pence and Donald Trump are significantly more popular than your entire party and definitely more popular than Hillary Clinton, the last Democratic candidate. So how can it be that they've fallen this far? Well, I have a great example of it here for you. I want to go to a video here. This was brought to my attention this week, but it was released maybe a few weeks ago. And what we have is Hillary Clinton's video message to the grassroots about how we have to keep fighting. Now, as you're listening to this, take note of how no lessons were learned.
Hello, Democrats. Thank you all for coming together to represent our party at its best, united, energized, and ready to wage and win the battles ahead. Now, as Democrats, we have diverse views and backgrounds. We are Democrats, after all. But we're bound together by the values and hopes we share for our country. I'm grateful for all your support and hard work during the election. Being your candidate was the honor of a lifetime. And I was inspired to see women and men from all walks of life and every corner of our country coming together on behalf of our shared values. And while we didn't get the outcome we worked so hard for, I'll always be proud of the campaign we ran, a campaign that was better and stronger thanks to each of you. After the primaries, we came together as a party to write the most progressive platform in history. Ideas we championed are now inspiring leaders and activists across our country. Nearly 66 million votes are fueling grassroots energy and activism. And everywhere, people are marching, protesting, tweeting, speaking out, and working for an America that's hopeful, inclusive, and big-hearted. From the Women's March to airports where communities are welcoming immigrants, refugees, and people of every faith, to town hall meetings where people are speaking up for health care, the environment, good jobs, and all the other issues that deserve our passionate support. Among those millions making their voices heard are future mayors, city and state officials, governors, members of Congress, even future presidents. The challenges we face as a party and a country are real. So now more than ever, we need to stay engaged in the field and online, reaching out to new voters, young people, and everyone who wants a better, stronger, fairer America. We as Democrats must move forward with courage, confidence, and optimism, and stay focused on the elections we must win this year and next. Let resistance plus persistence equal progress for our party and our country. Thank you to the leaders who've already done so much, beginning with Barack and Michelle Obama. Thanks as well to Donna and the DNC leadership, and to the outstanding bench of Democrats stepping up to lead us forward. As long as we stand together and work together, with respect for our differences, strength in our convictions, and love for our country, our best days are still ahead. So keep fighting and keep the faith. And I'll be right there with you every step of the way. God bless you, and God bless America.
I have so much to say about this, and I don't know where to begin. I guess we'll go from the top here. So she starts off by saying, we're united, energized, and ready to win. You're already wrong. You're saying we're united. You would have to be the dumbest person on earth, or you're just a liar, or you're massively ignorant and you're not paying attention at all to say that we're united. There is a giant civil war going on inside the Democratic Party and among the progressive base right now, because you have the people who are saying, hey, we need to actually be progressive and fight for those values and stop taking corporate money and big donor money. You have those people, and then you have the old guard, the neoliberals, who say, oh, you stupid pie-in-the-sky lefties, no, you got to be practical, and we need to take the corporate money, and obviously to win, we got to run further to the right and be more Republican light. So there's a giant civil war going on. You can't even acknowledge that. Why are you... it's unconscionable. It's like she's talking from a fucking vacuum. Okay, then she goes, what's the first thing she brings up after that? Diversity. We're diverse. Diversity, yay! Look, diversity, of course, is a good thing. But that's not enough, Hillary. It's not enough to just say diversity. Ironically, trump card, we win. No, but you don't win, and you didn't win because you tried this on the campaign trail, and it didn't fucking work. You don't just get to say, we're diverse, they're bigots. End of conversation, we win. Well, how are the results? Again, we're wiped out at every single level of government. State legislatures, governors, House of Representatives, Senate, presidency, we are obliterated, all on the backs of that message, where you do your McFeminism and your McLiberalism, and you think that's enough to pull the wool over the eyes of true progressives and make them go vote for you. You don't just yell, I'm a feminist! Yay! Anyway, so remember when Qatar gave us $1 million and then we gave them a weapons deal? Or they gave the Clinton Foundation $1 million? Remember when we continued to back Saudi Arabia and push for more weapons deals for them, and now they're slaughtering innocent civilians in Yemen repeatedly? How many women died in Hillary Clinton's supported policies for Iraq and Libya? How she voted for the war in Iraq, how she pushed for and was an orchestrator of the intervention in Libya. How many women died as a result of that? And now you're going to go out there, as she often does, and play the, I'm a feminist, 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 feminist. Unless they're, brown women, in which case we bomb them. So that's McFeminism. It's McLiberalism to say, diversity is wonderful. Anyway, now I'm not going to push for any actual progressive policies that would make people's lives better, make everybody's life better. So it's a trick. This is why we call it McLiberalism. It's liberalism that's about as real as the meat in the chicken nuggets is real. Okay, then she goes to, you're going to see this a lot. This is becoming the oldest establishment Democratic trick in the book. Our shared values. This is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our shared values. What are those values? Notice they always say shared values. We're fighting for our values. But they never tell you what the values are. And if they go on to ever mention anything, it's more platitudes and cliches. They go, our shared values, things like fairness. Okay, but what exactly does that mean from a policy perspective? You're not telling me anything. You're just saying, I'm in favor of good things and I'm against bad things. Shared values. Yay! And oh my God, I cringed when it was, we need resistance plus persistence. Do you not realize that you look like what you are? A tool of the establishment who goes out there and gives flowery phrases in an unconvincing way to try to dupe people into voting for you. That's what it is. Now, it goes without saying, of course I despise Trump, and the entire progressive base despises Trump. But it's not enough to just go out there and say shit like that. There used to be trickle down, now he wants to do trumped up trickle down. I think we should break down the barriers, and we are stronger together. You are not saying anything. These are cliches and platitudes, and then you wonder why people don't want to vote for you. All right, and then, so she always, our shared values. What are those values? You never say. There's never policies behind it. Then she goes, it's our most progressive platform. Hillary, you're taking credit for the thing that you fought every single step of the way. Remember, we covered that in detail when they had the platform committee. It was Hillary's people that fought every single attempt to make it the most progressive platform. They said, no, don't put language that's totally against TPP in there. Maybe we should just not do that. They also said, we don't want to push for a fracking ban in there. Come on now, that's too progressive. When it came to the issue of Israel, I think they said no to even using the language occupation. So Bernie Sanders and his people push for a truly progressive platform. They get some provisions through, which makes it, you could argue the most progressive platform in Democratic Party history. But then Hillary takes credit for the thing that her people fought every step of the way. God damn it, that's fucking frustrating. And then she moves on to, I can't believe she did this, ma'am. She said, she mentioned Donna Brazile and the DNC and thanked him. The fucking nerve on her, man. Donna Brazile, for those of you who don't know, Donna Brazile, there was a scandal because she gave questions before debates to Hillary Clinton. She got the questions in advance and leaked them to the Hillary Clinton campaign, so she knew the exact questions that were going to be asked in some of the debates. So you're thanking somebody who helped you cheat. Have you no fucking shame? You're helping the DNC, who obviously helped you cheat, because we have the emails. We saw them. We know what was going on. We know Debbie Wasserman Schultz got in contact with MSNBC and said, look, I don't like the way Morning Joe is treating us. Maybe I go talk to Phil Griffin. maybe I say, hey, you might need to take some action against them because you're not being very kind to me and Hillary now, are you? Praising the idea, celebrating and gloating about closed primaries, celebrating independents and millennials not being able to vote because when it's closed primaries, Hillary has a better chance to win. So, democracy, who gives a shit about democracy? Atheist shaming, that was their strategy, to atheist shame Bernie Sanders in the Midwest because he was polling better than she was in the Midwest. So they said, I don't know, let's play up her religious thing because they're religious, right? Man, I can't believe she mentioned the DNC. And there's two more points I want to make real quick because this really sums it up. Even the way she's talking is insufferable. Like, you still don't get it. The 1990s, 1980s style of politician is dead and gone. Look at what happened with fucking Martin O'Malley. Martin O'Malley was closer to Bernie Sanders in how he ran his campaign with the policies than Hillary Clinton. So he was significantly more progressive than Hillary Clinton. But he got obliterated. Why? Why didn't he gain traction? Well, one of the fucking reasons is he talks like a goddamn robot. He talks like he's not human. He put on the facade, the politician's rhythm and cadence and inflection and how he talks. And people are sick of it. They're tired of people bullshitting them nonstop because they feel like, oh, you're playing a role. You're like a character. You're on team politician and you're just saying what you think I want to hear. And what does Hillary Clinton do? Still hasn't learned. You can't, if she were to go out there, have no script, talk like a human being and be honest, more people would like her. And even parts of her record would be mitigated more so if she at least had a fucking human moment and said, all right, look, you know what, man? I made a mistake voting for the Iraq War. I've apologized for it previously, but I'm going to explain to you, I really understand how bad it was. I mean, all these people that died, this happened, I get it. We were too centrist. Myself and my husband supported NAFTA, supported the repeal of Glass-Steagall. He signed the repeal of Glass-Steagall. I get it. We were wrong. The proof is in the pudding. The subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession came soon after it. But look, I also pushed for the children's health insurance program. That was overwhelmingly positive, overwhelmingly successful, and you don't have any Republicans that can point to similar things that they did that were equally good to that. So, and just be honest and be reasonable and take out the fucking, I am on my 30-second take here when I am talking to you, and do you like how I am doing this, where the way I move my head when I talk and the way that I'm talking like a perfect fucking robot? It's so disgusting. Nobody's buying it anymore. Be a human being. And then finally, here's what wasn't mentioned in her speech. Remember, this is her, riling up progressives and saying we need to fight Donald Trump and we need to fight for our vision. And in the message where she says fight Donald Trump and push for our vision, there is no mention, none, Medicare for all or single payer. Neither one. She mentions healthcare but doesn't say Medicare for all, doesn't even allude to Medicare for all, doesn't allude to single payer. Why? She doesn't fucking believe in it. There's that. Doesn't mention unions. Doesn't mention them. Doesn't mention the minimum wage or a living wage. Doesn't mention nation building. And hey, maybe we should stop doing that. Hey, Trump just increased military spending by $54 billion. That seems like a pretty bad idea when we already have the biggest military in the world and 800 military bases that cost $100 billion a year to maintain. And we're doing 7 different interventions. She doesn't mention regulation. Hey, look at that. Trump rolled back a regulation that stops coal companies from polluting waterways. That seems like a bad idea. Doesn't mention any of the policies that actually matter. Because she is a front for corporate America. That's what she is. She's a neoliberal through and through. She is a corporate Democrat extraordinaire. She is the quintessential corporate Democrat. So when you come out, even when you've had all this time to reflect on how bad your campaign was, you go out there and say it was good. You go out there and say you're proud of it. You had all this time to learn, hey, maybe I was wrong because I was too heavy on the cliches and the platitudes. what do? Come out the first thing, cliches and platitudes. We're unified and there's energy and we're for diversity and we resistance plus persistence and we're gonna fight for our shared values and fairness and we're stronger together. Your mouth is moving and sounds are coming out, but there's no meaning attached to it. You know how you get people to like you and agree with you and vote for you? You actually have a vision and you stand up with backbone and integrity and you push for it. You don't have those things. But this is why people, a nobody who only political junkies knew from Vermont, a 1,000-year-old senator with bad posture who doesn't comb his goddamn hair, that's why he was able to win 22 states and go from no support to 47% of the vote, because every single goddamn speech was, we're going to make the minimum wage a living wage, $15 an hour. What we're going to do is have single-payer health care. What we're going to do is have free college. That's another thing she didn't mention. Nothing about free college, nothing about the student loan debt crisis. No fucking policy. All this time, you could have reflected and said, hey, maybe this is why I didn't win, and this is why it was bad. None of it. Nope. Didn't do it. Went out there, did the same goddamn thing. Cliches, platitudes, lying. We're unified, even though we're obviously fucking not unified. Go away. This isn't your party. You're doing a tremendous amount of damage to the country. A colossal amount of damage to the country. Because the old guard, the neoliberals, the Clintonites, they're still holding on to power with every fucking ounce of strength they have left. And the more we wallow with those people in power, the more you empower the Republicans. And the more they're going to get their agenda implemented. Because there's no way that your mealy-mouthed non-vision of a vision for the country, your cliches and platitudes, and the fact that you're front group for corporate America, there's no way that is going to be an effective resistance to Donald Trump, and there's no way that is going to hold him accountable and get our ideas implemented, because you don't have any fucking ideas. So this is why Mike Pence has a 47% favorability rating, Donald Trump has a 45% favorability rating, but the Democratic Party has a 36%, way less popular and favorable than Mike Pence and Donald Trump is the entire Democratic Party, and Hillary's even worse, 35%. Go away! You are hurting the country!